Hello everyone and welcome back to the Dota 2 Asia Championships 2015. We are in day number 4 of the group stage action and we are in heat number 8, the last heat for this 4th day. And it should be a nice one here. We got Navi taking on Rave, two teams which are kind of in the meat of the round robin sandwich. We got Navi holding up at 8-5 and Rave currently standing at 5-7. So wins of the utmost importance for both of these teams. Navi in a much more comfortable position, would like to be a little bit higher up on the upper bracket so they can face off against a nice opponent, and Rave want to make sure they don't have to go through those pesky little best of ones. So with that said, over here on Beyond the Summit 2, I'm Coddle Guy, bringing you the English coverage for Beyond the Summit, and I'm not going alone. I got my good buddy Cameron. Mr. Base Skip, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Looking forward to this game, actually. You just said you were fine, so I'm not even going to ask. Let's just get to the draft, I guess.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Navi get Troll, so that's already a win for Havost. And with that, we could see if they look to amplify on that attack damage cap even further. Magnus had been something they used to fall back on quite a bit, but it's just funny. Like the story of Navi, you know, at the start of Star Ladder, it seemed like they just weren't going to be able to do a whole lot. Then they found their groove, and then it fell off again. And it's always a roller coaster ride with them, but they have actually been on the up and up as of recent, stringing together some really good wins and even making some mild upsets, taking down EG, let's say, who are currently holding number 2. So Navi, got to keep your eye on them. It feels like the meta just suits their playstyle so well. And then the other thing I'd heard was at the first day when they started 0-3, they were all trying to get in on as the drafter, and they were all trying to chip in. But then when it wasn't working out, they're just, Scoblack's like, just let me draft. I'll draft myself. And ever since then, it seems to work out for the better.
Yeah, I feel like they've really found their style. They're kind of sticking to their guns on picks. You know, it's Havost on Troll or Jug. We're pretty much seeing Rubik every single game from them. Goblack's making sure to get himself on one of those defensive supports that he really enjoys playing. They're putting Funnick on some kind of initiator, and Dendy, it's interesting that you bring up the Magnus because it seems like recently they've been shifting him over onto more Queen of Pain and Shadow Fiend and some more of these semi-carries mid that we've actually been seeing quite a bit more of this competition. But yeah, it seems to be working for Navi. They found their groove, and we'll see how they do so far. They've already got 2 very comfortable picks with the Troll and the Rubik, so probably only continue from here.
Yep, Vance score, very comfortable, one of the better players with the Rubik, and we already talked about the Troll, and I have to agree with you. For as far as Dendy goes, it felt like he was not really pressured, but he was trying to find his way with adapting, and he was trying out doing like the Morphling for a while, then even Medusa for a bit in the mid lane before Havost was like, no, I'm the Medusa one, I'll do it. But now we can see more of the Dendy of old when you did the more snowball kind of heroes, like the Queen of Pain, like the Shadow Fiend, maybe even a Punk from time to time. And that seems to just more or less, like I said before, suit the playstyle that Navi just kind of are more comfortable with. So with that said, after the first picks commence, we got to go into the second wave of bans. It looks like Navi are going to remove the Zeus and the Ember Spirit. And it looks like for now, Rave already an early jab at Funnick's Clinks here with that ban. That's peculiar at this early on. But we'll see as they continue to round it on out. Any favorites that you're hoping to see here? I know it's relatively early in this draft, but anything really popping out to you as far as what maybe Navi could consider in their next round?
I think if Rave don't pick up too much more damage over time, the Templar Assassin for Dendy could definitely be a very solid option. I mean, Venge will probably grab an Urn one way or the other, but if that's the only DOT that you're dealing with, you're a very, very happy TA. So maybe keep an eye out for that. Otherwise, what are we looking at? I guess Rave, we might see some more of their Slark potentially, which has been very, very successful for them so far this competition. Could be good to see a little bit more of that, but looks like Navi are really cruising. They've still got all of their reserve time remaining, and Rave already starting to dig a little bit deeper, and like, they come back with a Lion here, who we've seen so much of this tournament. I don't even know if it bears too much discussion.
I know we know what a Lion offers. Everything is great about this hero from top to bottom. I mean, I already closed my data sheet here, but I'm sure he's in the top 2 or 3 as far as play and ban and pick. So, you know, with that, they benefit for some superior lockdown with both Vengeful Spirit and Lion. They could go on the aggressive rather early on, which is something that Rave like to do. So we could see a lot of fireworks. Rave and MVP, they're teams that really do love to fight. So if they are more of a fighting-oriented lineup, yeah, they could always fall back on their Slark. I wouldn't be nervous as far as what Slark could really do with this Faceless Void if he's going to be able to set things up with the Chrono. But Medusa has been something that I know Jao's also ran from time to time, and they could always hold back. It could work good against someone like Troll who wants to be in your face. But we'll see here. Funny enough, though, Juggernaut has still been ignored in this draft so far.
Yeah, it's actually a really good point. I don't know if I feel like the Jug is pretty much always Havost for Navi. I don't know if Dendi is a very big Troll player, so I don't know if they can really fit it in here. But okay, some Warlock, nice. We've been seeing this pick just salt and peppered here over the course of this group stage, and it's been really interesting to see. I'm a big fan of the core Warlock.
We saw it with huge success on Hellraisers when they took on LGD. It was just a bull rush kind of a style, and LGD is like, hold on a second, we have an AM Sylar, we got a farm. Can you guys just pump the brakes? But there was no brake pump in there from Hellraisers. No. It was very, very hot and heavy and quick, and Navi could look to do a bit of the same, though. I could swear the last time I saw Navi run the Warlock, it was actually Funnick playing it in the solo safe lane. So it sounds like that's the right thing. So we'll see if it's going to be Dendi picking up or Funnick once more, but in response it looks like Rave are going to be picking up the Queen of Pain.
Rubik is so happy looking at Rave's draft so far. The big things for Rubik, you want probably one mobility spell, so you want a Shikuchi or a Blink or something that's worth stealing so that you can get Rubik around and get into a decent position, and then you just want any kind of ability that's worth stealing. So Lion, whenever you steal from him, you're not going to be too unhappy. Queen of Pain, also fantastic. So I think this is Vanscore's 10th game in a row on Rubik, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he can put together with the smorgasbord that is Braves draft so far.
It's like, it's good, he's going to play it, but we're not banning it first, otherwise something else ridiculous is going to get through. So as long as you can, the same way like a Vengeful Spirit, we'll just keep taking it and taking it and taking it, and the Hellraisers are like the same way. And I know there's a while as well, even while Vanscore was on Empire, he was like the #1 Dazzle, and he ran Dazzle any chance he could over and over again. Him and it was Dazzle and Rubik, so it's just a hero he knows so well, and might as well just give it to him. And and it just works out in his favor. He gets so many options here as the draft begins to blossom. But now we're going back to the side of Na'Vi with potentially what could be Funnick's Warlock grab here. This could either be Goblak's grab for himself. Abaddon seems to be something he likes to go for. They don't really like to run the Omni Knight a whole lot, but it's actually going to be the Earthshaker here. So Earthshaker, who normally could be more of the greedy 4-position role, lately it's been a lot of more defensive. Hang out by the mid lane, ensure that they're going to have a good time. Maybe you lead things off with a block on the side, so you help out a side laner a bit, but then you come back and you kind of just be there in case something breaks out. I mean, that could be the plan. We'll see. It just seems like Goblak loves to play very, very defensive with whatever it is.
Yeah, he does really favor his defensive supports. The Earthshaker's good here to potentially split the Chrono. So you can keep people alive through that. It gives them some additional lockdown against the Queen of Pain, which they may have been lacking somewhat. Even opens up for potential mid lane ganks, depending on what Na'Vi are running there. But Rubik and Earthshaker plus any decent mid should be able to bring down the QoP. And the Queen of Pain pick, I think, for Rave is nice. You're talking about concerns about picking up cores that synergize nicely with the Void, so got range, you got lots of damage to pump into the Chronosphere, and the Queen works out nicely in that regard. And I think also it helps to, if there was going to be that Dendi TA potentially, then the Queen of Pain is going to be nice to have because of that, and have the Shadow Strike and whatnot, and have the laning potential as well. So I think a very heads-up pick from Rave on the whole.
Now what if this is going to be, then they have done already, the Dendi mid lane Earthshaker? Is that a bad matchup for Queen of Pain?
No, that's not a bad matchup for Queen of Pain. Co-op against any.
I mean, a bad
any
matchup for
melee.
Earthshaker. No, I figured Co-op
Yeah.
was going to have a pain. I meant when I said that, I meant Earthshaker. So I know a lot of
No.
people are like getting tickled by the idea possibly of being the Dendy Earthshaker, but I mean, I would agree with you. Even in a possible matchup against Queen of Pain, you're gonna have a hard time. So I think they might be reserving it for this 5th pick, and well, Rave get their own 5th. They grab a hold of Clockwork, which we've been seeing actually a fair amount of. He's good to be able to jump in there and get into the mix. Heavy initiator. He got the swap at the ready just in case. But, well, we'll see. If you're able to get a hold of that pesky Warlock who wants to drop the rock from behind, he could be the answer. Plus, you get that continual vision with the rocket, and you're on Radiant side. Okay. It's going to be the Outworld Devourer. We're in TI3. This is great. Here we go.
This is actually one game. So I've seen, I think, 4 OD picks so far, and I've cast a couple of them, and for a lot of them, where we're just sitting and scratching our heads and thinking, what is this OD pick doing? What is he accomplishing? But I think this game, he's a really solid grab. You've got potential defensive Astral Imprisonment counter initiation against all of the Rave. Jump in with Chrono and Hex and Hook and swap stuns. So that's really nice to have. Rave don't really have too many ways to shuffle their lanes either to put somebody that's going to be a great matchup against the OD. Though I guess they could put potentially put the Void mid and safe lane the Co-op, but looks like they're just going to be sticking to their guns, and JO's going to have to deal with it. They'll probably just have to rotate in some ganks from the supports.
I just watched, it's so funny, the puppy OD video where he just annihilates the jug in the mid lane. 13 mana boy. So it's just so funny to see it here, and well, we'll see if Dendy can channel his inner OD puppy here. He's even got the funny little cosmetic. I've never actually seen that. It's like a crazy little Darth Vader helmet kind of a thing happening here. Very mecha OD, if you will. But here we go. Let's get it underway. Our final matchup here for group stage day number 4. It's Heat 8. It's Na'Vi taking on Rave. Na'Vi sporting their 8-5 record. Rave got 5-7. And let's leave things in with some introductions as they scout out the bounty runes. We got Havost on your dire Na'Vi side. Going to be playing your core troll. We got Goblek on what feels like the more defensive Earthshaker. We've got Vincere going to be playing the Rubik. He would love to get someone trapped. I've already seen it twice today. Why not we just keep the cliff action happening here? Mid lane, it is going to be, of course, Dendy on the OD, and that leaves Funnick once again on the solo safe lane Warlock.
Yep, and for Rave, we have Ryor on the Clockwork, we have Jo on Queen of Pain, we have NB on the Lion, we've got Chrissy handling the Faceless Void. Looks like he actually just messed up his Void skating there, so wasting a little bit of mana at the start. And finally, we have Cast on Vengeful Spirit.
I've never heard it called the Void skating, but it's like I know exactly what you're talking about. I never do.
Yeah,
I see him do it all the time. It's like wee. I'm like, what is wrong with that animation? And it's like, oh, it's the cancel of the time walk. But I think ice skating just fits perfect with it.
Yeah, no, it's totally Void skating. I will accept no substitutes. But
already Dendy just like, give me that bit of intel, buddy. And it's gonna be dual lanes. Here comes Ninja Boogie. He doesn't want Dendy to have too easy of a time early on, and he's already dishing out the early Hex just to ensure that he can't get in there and get the early advantage on that CS game, because OD, this is like where he strides. If he thinks you're going to get too close to get some CS, he'll just pop you right in that Astral Prism and tell you to shut up.
Yeah, so Rave they're really forced to just try and pressure mid and move around as much as they possibly can. I don't know if going head to head would have been all that bad for them, but Funnick definitely would have crushed the Clockwork, I think, in the 1v1, and there's no chance you want to leave the Queen of Pain against the OD. So they just got to keep moving and keep ganking and keep pressuring if they can.
Oh, they make a go on to Ryor with the Telekinesis lift, and the Tomahawk's coming out. The Cog's going to pop out, and Vincere gets trapped in. Bunch of creeps are starting to bring in the aggro here. He's got to be careful. Here comes Ninja Boogie, gets the Hex, and now Vancecore's the one in trouble. He'll try to one away. The right clicks come through, but there's not going to be enough. So a nice little trade between both sides. The salve's going to be forced out here from Ryor, and Vancecore will eat a tango.
So still no first blood just yet. We're settling into just somewhat dual lanes right now, but so long as these Rave supports are just off doing their own thing, then these should start to build up more and more of a lead here on mid.
Ninja Boogie. Not going to throw him on the cliff, just throws him back because he's got that DD. If he gets a few more shots in, no uphill miss. Could be trouble. Oh, gets him with the last auto attack. That was range hacks. I call it right now. And even the clarity pop, that's unfortunate for Ninja Boogie. And just like that, a very blessed Ice Frog Rune allows Vincere to get the first blood.
Yeah, that was really, really nice. Also, even just the attack moving up the cliff, so the instant that his hero got vision of the lion, he would, well, up the ramp, he would lob that auto attack before he could get around the corner into the fog and potentially deny himself to the neutrals or something like that. Little things, but can definitely be the difference between getting a kill or not there.
Nice little D ward at the top there for Rave. Luckily, though, Goblak's there and takes the deny. You're not getting the free 50 gold. I'm bah humbug. I hate that you even took the ward. So Goblak steps away, and they'll be lacking a bit of extra vision up and ahead. And as
Big
it goes,
mid.
though, here we go, turning the corner here. Ninja Boogie out in front. Still level 1, though, so he only has the Hex. But maybe with the Magic Missile, that will be enough. There's not much mana on Dendy. He's actually going to be in trouble. Jo already cuts him off ahead, and he's going to go down. And it's going to be a 1-1 now even. They take out Dendy, and this allows Jo to really begin to flourish here in the mid lane.
Yeah, they have to keep these ganks up. They can't let the Queen of Pain just get nothing in the early game and just be a liability the entire time. Need to see if they can get some farm and get her ganking. There's actually plenty of heroes for the Quap to, and if she picks up an Orchid and starts moving around, I think almost anybody on Na'Vi is a potential kill, but it's just a question of getting her there first and foremost.
Got to get to that point where you can really build up that snowball. Now level 5. I'm waiting out for the 4-minute rune. Dendy's there as well. He could always just astral and grab it, so it's not going to be an easy grab for
lifted
Jo.
out of his cogs bottom lane.
Oh, and at that moment, yep, there is going to be the snack kill on bottom. Good setup there from Vincere. And as you saw top lane at that same moment, it was the trade of the runes. Jo actually blinked in and snagged at the bounty in front of Dendy, so good play from him instead of just casually walking there. But first and foremost, with that, Na'Vi get a kill on bottom. Havos continues to get a lot on his troll and a lot of space to work with here. So it's a good head start for him.
Yeah, and Chrissy's actually doing really well, I would say, on CS top, getting a little bit of help here and there, but they're not going to cycle things around. Ryo's going to handle top lane, and looks like they're going to be sending the Faceless Void either into the jungle or down towards bot. Looks like Rave just trying to catch up their supports a little bit after all the rotating that they've been doing in the early game, since Na'Vi have been more or less set in their lanes this entire time. Vancecore's just been bot and Goblak after the initial rotation. They've just been hanging out top lane, so Rave gonna take a quick breather and catch up a bit.
Well, one team tries to get settled, though. The other one tries to adjust and rotate over. So where that stops, you got Goblak already eyeballing towards the mid lane with Vincere here. So maybe hoping that Dendy could be baited out in front. They plant the sentry on the low ground here, maybe looking to see if there's anything on the cliff above, but there's not going to be anything. And with that, maybe they hope they can go under the dark here and towards the bottom lane. So the movement keeps happening here. And as far as top CS, it's Havos who's winning. 31-4. On the other side, you got Funnick right behind, 26-11, and Dendy. That's top 3 CS all going to Na'Vi.
Yeah, these lanes are working out great. And I don't even think that Dendy gave away the gank mid the way that he ran in there, because it's totally plausible that he's just, charging under the tower to imprison and just continue the lane dominance. So, Na'Vi supports, straight down bot.
There they go. Tomahawk connects in the fissure, but with that Earth Spike, he creates his own space to TP back home. So that gank will be thwarted, and they won't get an easy grab on the Ninja Boogie. But hey, here's Cast, and he's trying to work with some creeps here. Vincere says, my creeps now, and walks him towards the bottom. There's going to be a DD rune that Dendy's going to be able to sweep on over and pick up. And it looks like Jo, maybe you've already grabbed the one at the top lane, but, well, whatever the case, he goes back to mid lane and continues to CS. But with a DD in hand, we'll see if there's going to be as much use. Dendy does level up the Insanity's Eclipse right at level 6. I said Insanity's. Insanity's Eclipse right at level 6. So they do have potential wombo combo factor. I mean, Funnick is going to have his Chaotic Offering, and we can see if they can kind of bring it all together here in one big push. And with something like Golems, you can always follow it up with an objective takedown.
Yeah, they definitely do have some kill potential. NB just going to end up on the wrong side of the fissure there, so not going to be able to go for anything. But both still pretty content to just sit down here and farm
be a bit overzealous. Oh, but I say that, Jo actually shows up. That long blink gets him right in. Vost going to be saved for now. Goblek shows up, posts out the fissure, and they throw up Cask on the other side. Earthspike connects beautifully on two with a Scream follow-up, and Chrissy shows up. It's going to be a two-man takedown from Rave. Very nicely done. That Earthspike from Ninja Boogie just connected so beautifully that it allowed Jo to just bring in the pain.
Great time for Jo to rotate as well. He wants to spend as little time mid as he possibly can, so just snagged the 6 and immediately went and made some great plays happen with the Sonic Wave.
Very, very nice stuff. Dendy, though, back on mid lane. Continues to farm up, and remember, there's always the Warlock in this game. Funnick has been farming, and he's going the Midas build. I think he got that last time as well, and from that, he could just enhance his farm potentially even further, plus the huge XP gains he gets from it, and go right for the Agnums. That's when destruction really comes.
That was pretty lucky for Clock. He gets the bounty rune, so that's actually his level 6 right now. Don't know if he's going to be able to do anything immediately, but still a nice grab.
How did he level up? He went 2 into Battery Assault, 1 into the Cogs, and 2 into the Rocket Flare. So yeah, I don't think so, but trying to get back. Chaotic Offering and the Telekinesis will be there right after the Cogs, so this is trouble. He gets zapped there, and Funnick gets the kill, and with that, they can push on forward towards this tier 1. Rave might need to consider going out for a defense, or they might sacrifice their first tower. They get a hold of Goblek. Yeah, they drop the Chrono. Jo unfortunately gets caught in it, but Goblek should still be in trouble. Connects the fissure onto both of them. Roche, please do me the honors. Oh, it's not going to happen. Jo gets the lingering right click, and that's now a killing spree on his Queen of Pain.
And catching up really, really nicely just off of kills. Navi's still sitting back and farming, and Funnick, as you mentioned, there's still a Warlock in this game, and with that kill, he's got his Midas up, so he's still scaling nicely, but Rave, given how the lane setups went and how the CS went for them, I think they're still hanging on decently well. Unfortunately, Chrissy's just jungling for the moment, but he's just trying to make as much space as he can for his supports to grab farm and get their levels, and that's going to pay off, as NB does have his level 6, so he's going to pay that back and go and send a gank Navi's way.
Ninja Boogie's got a finger, and he's got Dendy. Oh, Self-Astral's going to avoid the Earth Spike, but will avoid the... Oh, no. Goblek steps in. Very nice fissure. Hook's going to be off the mark, and Dendy might make his way out. He will. Telekinesis comes in from Vanscore to keep him occupied. Look at this. Navi looks to come in. Oh, not going to quite connect there with the big Sanity's Eclipse. And before the TP happens, they're going to throw out the Astral. So now they take down Vengeful Spirit. Ninja Boogie could be next. Earth Spike's going to be stolen. Fissure flies out, but it's not going to be there. Another right click comes, and it's Vanscore who gets that kill. So a two-man drop right there at the expense of no one on Na'Vi. And it looks like Havost, just in the meanwhile, continue to push bottom. So good grab for Na'Vi right there as far as the fight recap goes. It's about a 1K gold swing to Na'Vi.
I really don't know why Clockwork tried to hook there. He could have just walked up during the Imprison and dropped the Cog, or he could have waited for him to pop out and the Hex to happen, or... I think there were a million different ways for Ryer to play that better, but just panicked a little bit.
Chrissy? He goes to the other side. TP? Oh, it doesn't happen. Oh, man, Vanscore real close. Had to with that stolen Earth Spike. Almost got there in time, but a very thankful Chrissy is able to make his way out. Oh, man. Incoming! It feels like Rior wants to use this hook shot, and he can't really find a good target to make it happen.
I don't think he can kill Funnick with just 2 points in Battery Assault, but no. he was looking for it, that's for sure.
It's like, hopefully I can get something set up at least, so when Ninja Boogie comes, who also is probably itching to get a use of that finger, we can make something happen. Certainly the two of them can get the job done, but Funnick's elsewhere. He used his Midas, and he's farming a little bit in the jungle. He's almost got a point booster gold at this rate. He's going to have an Agnums pretty fast, and it's going to be devastating for Chaotic Offering. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Havost has got his own Morbid Mask. Already got the phase here. We'll see if he goes... Well, I've seen everything. I've seen Mask of Madness, I've seen Vlad's, and I've seen Helm of the Dominator. So I don't know. Whatever I pick, he'll probably go for one of the other two. Do you think there's any sort of like little extra motivation to go for something in particular in this game and setup with this Morbid Mask, or do you think this is going to be something just pretty standard for Havost?
So it could just be casual Morbid Mask. I don't think he goes Mask of Madness, and I don't think he goes Vlad's. So he can kind of use the Dominator as an aura / farming item, but he might just want to go into, you know, BKB or some more tank a little bit more quickly. So I honestly think it'll just stay as a casual Morbid Mask for a while here.
All right, we'll see. He's still, yeah, holding on to that 1,500 gold as far as next investment. Chrissy's nearby. They don't quite see him, but he's there. He has his Chrono at the ready. And Na'Vi look to come in from behind. A Fissure Block not going to connect on anyone, but they do imprison Ninja Boogie. He hides to the low ground. Now he shows himself. Earth Spike, Chaotic Offering, and a Fade Bolt is all it takes to take down the squishy little support Lion. And now Na'Vi will easily be able to take this tier 1 tower. They might even continue pushing on this bottom lane.
Radiant's bottom tower is demolished.
And nice for Vincere, he's got the OD on his side this game, so he gets to go Tranquil Boots and gets to be a little bit speedier on Rubik. Yeah, it's pretty slow normally, so some small extra benefits coming out there, and looks like Na'Vi just gonna keep the ball rolling. Funnick even coming over to the high ground just to Midas the creep right out from under Rave's noses. That's
my creep,
that's
not
pretty
your
cute
creep now. Yeah.
Yep.
Cheeky little plays. His golem's gonna be busy with the creeps while Havos gets to start knocking on this tier 2. Let's see, Rave, what they got. They still have those big ultimates. Chrissy with the Void, hook shot, finger of death. What can they get done and who they want to get it done on? There's the jump across. Chrissy can't find anyone. There's a good spread, but he does get the hold on the Funnick, but instant telekinesis, and the Steel Chrono catches the rest of Rave. Now it's Na'Vi, they're going to go on an onslaught. Scream flies out, but it's not going to do a whole lot of damage, and they quickly Astral. Finger flies out, though, and finishes off with Bose. Funnick heals on up, they drop the Sandy's Eclipse. Ninja Boogie could go down again. Big Earth Spike connects on 3. Echo, though, thrown out from Godblack. Not going to do a whole lot, but here we go. The rest of Na'Vi considering a press on in, but the Cogs keeping him back here. Dendi very low, getting healed up there from Funnick. Has to get the hell out. Force staffs himself away, and it looks like when it's all said and done, it's a 2-for-2 trade.
Vincere with the plays. That Chronosphere was... His Chrono was better than Chrissy's Chrono.
It certainly was.
That fight.
It looked like that was going to be the opportunity, but things got a bit awkward at that point. It felt like they got it set up and they moved on forward, and then one thing led to another. There was an Echo kind of on the ground, and it just looked like they weren't able to break past. I guess credit, of course, to Rior on his clockwork. He put down really nice cogs to make sure they couldn't really overdive. So with that, it looks like Na'Vi moved back, and Havos and Dendi, the partnership, if you will, go see if they can get an Aegis for themselves, because why the hell not? But here comes Rior. He's thinking he's got a solo pick on the Vincere, but he runs right into the rest of Na'Vi, and he might be in trouble. They Astral him up. Here comes Ninja Boogie. Might try to help him out. That's a nice cog that keeps him back, and the Earth Spike. Upheaval slows him down, however, so he tries to bottle on up. Oh, he's trying to get away. Meanwhile, Havos is able to finish off that Roche, and he gets the Aegis for himself. So it's just an extra bonus right there for Na'Vi. And all the meanwhile, Rave are just kind of pushing this tier 1 tower on the top lane.
Pretty classic Dota trades. Tier 1 tower top goes down for the Aegis, but I think Na'Vi's still going to be pretty happy with that one. And looks like Havos... Well, he's got the Yasha so far. He's got an Ogre Club as well. I don't know if this is going to just be SNY to tank up and rely on his team to help keep him alive with Can Initiation, or if he's just going to perhaps go in for a BKB. I think he can probably justify the SNY since he's got the Aegis at the moment, and Na'Vi are really trucking right now.
They feel really confident. They have Havos in the front with the Aegis and Phonics on the back with the Chaotic Offering. You make the jump onto him, I guarantee we're going to jump right back on you. So let him do what he wants. If he wants that tier 1, you give it to him. He gets it there. They're not done yet. They keep on pressing in. Chrissy at the top trying to split push towards this tier 2. Here goes Na'Vi. They spread to see if they can get a hold of anyone. Ninja Boogie on the way back inside. And Na'Vi will settle back onto their normal push. It looks like now they'll go knocking on the tier 2. Meanwhile, top lane Rave, split pushing on a tier 2 themselves. Just stalling out as much as they can. Similar to what we saw from Cloud9. Trying to get the Aegis to expire, but the problem is Na'Vi have a pretty nice pushing lineup, and I don't think it'll be as easy.
Yeah, interestingly, Jo has actually gone for a Yule Scepter this game, which I find it a little bit surprising. It's nice if he finds one of the supports and, you know, by themselves and they try to TP out or something, but I don't know how useful it is for him teamfight wise. I feel like he can still just get bursted from full to nothing in the duration of a lift into a fissure or something along those lines. We'll see how he ends up using it.
What would you like to have seen? Possibly just the Orchid grab?
Yeah, I think Orchid, I think there's even a case for going a relatively early BKB this game as well. First item BKB always feels really bad on Queen of Pain, but I think this game there's actually enough burst and enough lockdown that you may have to consider. He'll probably just go it as the second item. But
definitely.
I'm not much of a co-op player. I'm not much of a co-op player, so I'm not gonna doubt JR too much here. I'm sure he'll probably find a couple of pickoffs with it that he wouldn't have found otherwise.
No, absolutely. The players that this is what they do for a living. I'm sure they know what's best. We're just here to analyze and dissect as far as what the thought process is, and it could become pretty damn clear. Maybe a simplistic Yule setup into a sonic boom. This is all he really wants to go for, but we'll see if he's able to get the picks with it, if that is indeed the case. But for now, he'll use the extra bit of a movement boost and mana regen to farm up these creeps and add some pressure here towards this tier 1. Na'Vi, they still have the Aegis, and as you can see on the clock, we got 2 more minutes before it goes and expires. So Na'Vi might look for another push with the big rock at the ready here. Maybe Funix trying to maybe finish off the Agnes. Does he have it finished? He does. Oh, he'll get this, and then they're like, let's go. I got 2 rocks now. It's time to push.
It's time.
Oh, man, that's a beautiful looking stick. This is going to be a rude awakening for Rave because he had been hiding those components. They probably figured he still has a point booster, but this is going to be bad.
Jo at the same time going to do his best to split push and at least turn this into some semblance of a trade, but you can see Rave have no interest in fighting into this Aegis and into the Aghanim Scepter. They're just going to give this one to Na'Vi.
Yep, they know it's there now. Phonic is just happy to show it off. And Havos continues to move forward. Probably about a minute on the clock and counting. You see Jo still split pushing up here at the top, but there's someone at the front door, and his name's Havos, and he's got something to sell, and he's got 4 of them. So he keeps on throwing on in, withering this tower down. Rave's just stalling, waiting patiently for an opportunity, the agent's expiration that they can make a go, but this is not going to be an easy team fight for him. I mean, Vanscore's still also in good position, waiting for maybe a chrono snag and doing a little bit of what he did before. This is Navi's time right now. Let's see if Rave are able to stall.
I think Na'Vi needs to make sure that they don't stick around too long. If Rave are right on the clock, then they might jump him as the Aegis fades. So I think it would be a little bit dicey for Na'Vi to stick around much longer. And yeah, they realize it as well. They don't want to get caught in a bad fight and not have 2 lives on Havost. So I'm gonna back off. Maybe go steal a little bit of the Radiant Jungle, and maybe look towards this tier 1 top, which is pretty much a freebie at this stage, I would say.
So Na'Vi do play it safe, pull away, Aegis will expire. And to Rave's benefit though, Ninja Boogie's able to scrap together his Blink Dagger. This is big. On someone like a Lion, this sets up big picks. And picks at this point in the game when they feel like they're pretty far behind, which if you look at the graph they are, 7,500 plus. This allows for that little bit of a rubber band. They start to claim up the bounties. They follow it up with a couple of objectives, a couple of tier 1s, which they've only taken 1. And, well, they've taken the tier 2, I guess, as well, top lane. But they have tier 1s mid, tier 1 bottom lane. And there's going to be the first pick. It takes 3 ultimates, but Dendi goes down. Rave, a lot of hate right there for what position they've been put into to this point. But they're able to get that first grab. And oh, look at that. Vanscore steals Chrono. They make a jump top lane at the same time. Oh, doesn't quite get the Earth Spike, more on the creeps, but Favos wants to finish off this tier 2. Gets it. There's the sheep. Jo moves forward, and he's not going to look to follow through with a whole lot. Does have the Yules, but now Avost thinks about manning up. Oh, this guy. Okay, we will pull away.
That was great. I think for a second there, Rave thought that he had backup, and then they saw 2 heroes turn up mid, and they're like, "Oh, Havost, what are you doing? You're actually here by yourself." And still, Havost is actually strong enough at this stage, and the Hex was on cooldown that they didn't want to try for it. So
of all the heroes, though,
Havost plays.
Troll's the hero to do it, and he has already video highlights to prove that sometimes when he goes into beast mode, it pays off. So with that, Rave played safe. They step away. They don't want anything to do with the crazy guy, and they'll let him go. So Na'Vi can just continue to spread. They already get that tier 1 top lane. They still have tier 2s on bottom and top now to work with. Stall out. Possible Aegis scouting to see where it is. Rave. I mean, they have a Clockwork with a hook shot, and now they have Ninja Boogie with his blinking lion here, but not a lot as far as opportunities. They're finally able to get a couple of wards out. Looks like one's going to be able to cover the top rune spot, and they got one on the bottom, but not much else outside of that. So as long as Na'Vi are in the dark, they don't have to worry about a whole lot.
Yeah, I think Rave have found surprisingly few pickoffs given their lineup. You know, we talked about the Lion Blink Dagger, and I looked at it and I thought, oh yeah, it's pretty good, should be able to set things up, but they've already got a Clock with the Blink Yules, they've got a Faceless Void with Time Walk into Chronosphere, they've got Clockwork ready to initiate as well. I don't think the issue is so much that Rave lack initiation, they just haven't been able to find Na'Vi's heroes, and we've gotten to the point where Na'Vi can quite comfortably 5-man a lot of the time, you know, outside of when they're trying to deal with the JO split push. So, well, we'll have to see. Na'Vi just really waiting on the BKB for Dendi, which is coming out very, very soon. I think it's actually on the courier, and then probably another Aegis that they can snag it before they start really making another attempt. Funnick just working on a refresher orb right now.
Yeah, that's just... I mean, I don't think he's even used his Agnum's ult yet. They didn't have to mid lane, so he has yet to even debut the double rock drop. So still comfortable holding that nuke damage there. And speaking of nuke damage, you got Jay who completes the Agnum Scepter. Have to follow through with the Yules, so got plenty of screams happening. 40 seconds. I mean, you can even use it to push back waves and have it at the ready for the next potential fight, I suppose, but how much damage we were looking at here? Remember, with recent changes, it goes right through your BKB, but do we even have a BKB? We do. Havos has one at full 10 seconds, but yeah, that's big damage. And if you factor in, of course, what it used to be, yeah, the number was higher, but that's also not counting the, 0.25 deduction with the mana armor that's just natural base. So I think when it works out, Queen of Pain's new damage is a bit higher.
Yeah, it was effectively buffed. If you just factor in 25% natural magic resistance, and yeah, like you said, good against the BKBs. It's interesting, the change to pure damage has actually made it a little bit worse at pushing at creep waves, as you're mentioning, but still a good high ground defense tool here for Rave, and a good way to continue stalling out there. Being as greedy as they can get away with, I would say, on their item builds. Faceless Void just going into a Maelstrom. Again, I think BKB is still a must for him this game, otherwise he's just going to get fissured and imprisoned and everything else during Chronosphere. But he's taking a little while to go for it. I don't even know if he's going to get it as the next item.
The thing is like, even if he gets it, and he gets a BKB and he jumps in and sets them up, and Funnick's not involved, BKB or not, those rocks are still going to hit you, and it's going to be rough. Yeah. So, Goblak, it's a nice little stylistic deny right there on the mid lane to take away more gold from Rave. And it looks like it's Roche time, so they'll move on in. So I don't know if he's just banking on the idea that he'll get a good chrono and hopefully catch out this pesky Warlock, or the Warlock will not be around, or he'll be already dead, and he can just get out as much right click as possible. But BKB could still be pretty damn important. It just feels like if anyone's on the outside of the chrono, they'll do something. Hell, even a Havos will just dish out some blind if he has to.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, Jo does the scream to push out the wave. It doesn't get stolen. He takes the other scream instead, but they're able to focus. Some Yules set up, and they just dunk right on her. Oh, unfortunate timing right there for Jo. He saw the Aegis get picked up, but I guess he wasn't banking on the fact that they were going to be there so fast.
I just don't think he expected both Rubik and Earthshaker to have Blink Daggers already, but they do. Navi's supports have both actually managed to farm it up, and you know, it's a little bit rare to see both supports neck and neck on farm, but Na'Vi have had plenty to go around this game with all those towers that they've taken down, so very well played to both Vincere and Goblak to get that done, and now they've got a huge number of items to just throw into this high ground push. Since the last time we saw them, we've got 2 BKBs and 2 Blink Daggers, and that's a really big deal. We didn't even see the Aghanim's ultimate from Warlock just yet, so their team fight is massive.
There's the force in, he drops the Sands Eclipse, Ninja Boogie. He's gonna get caught there, the rocks go down, he gets the finger off, which finishes off Goblak. But now the golems are out. You're going to see now Chrissy buys his BKB that we've been waiting for. And the golems are already down, so this could be Rave's best chance. Navi's not quite able to push in yet. In fact, they're all the way out of here. They don't want to even risk their Aegis, it looks like, for now, and they step away. Is this Rave's opportunity right now to go back the other way and try to take a fight that the chaotic offer has already been used?
I think they still want to just farm and wait at the Aegis if they can. Maybe look for a pickoff, but I don't think they're fishing. Actually, you know what? Chaotic Offering and Sanity's Eclipse. Maybe you do go in 5-man some buildings and get yourself some more map control here.
Funnick is trying to build up towards that refresher orb, which could be a nice surprise if he happens to throw it together when Rave do decide to push, but he's only got the Oblivion, it looks like, for now, and getting close to the Perseverance. He'll need quite a bit more time. Rave are already here on the bottom lane. There's still tier 1 down here to grab, so it seems like the safest thing to do is just get that bit extra gold. But right now they smoke up, and they could head across the river. Oh, there's also a invis. If they see that grabbed, they're going to know something's up. Oh, they see Havos. They jump onto him. He dishes out the blind. He mans up onto Chrissy. Chrissy gets annihilated. His BKB was popped as well. There's going to be no chrono, no nothing. And he chops on 2 immediately. Vengeful Spirit also goes down. Ninja Boogie prays for his life. Ghost Scepters blinks away. TP's on out. Jo jumps in. Oh, can't get out. Astral's going to catch him, and it's going to be tricky here. Oh, nice self-fuels is going to block. That was an Echo Slam. And Jo slips away. Oh, nice slick play from him to get the self-use first, and he's able to blink thereafter.
I think Go Black need to just try and line up the Enchant Totem there instead. The last couple of minutes for him have not been too impressive with the way that he jumped in mid, kind of botched the push for his team, and I think he had an opportunity to kill the co-op there, but don't want to take anything away from Jo. He played that really nicely to be able to get out of Navi's clutches, but oh, Navi, how far away are those ultimates? Only about 30 seconds to go. They've still got about 1 minute and 30 seconds on the Aegis, so this is actually looking like a little bit of an opportunity to go high ground. Dendy being somewhat greedy, grabbing some creeps down on bot, and he's actually going to ping and say, look guys, I want these creeps. Let's wait a little bit more. Though that may end up meaning that they missed their opportunity on the high ground.
Almost go down the second like the Chaotic Offering comes up, and Dendy won't be there to be a part of it. His Sans Eclipse is at the ready, but they're feeling like maybe they can wait and get bottom pushed in. The timing is going to be pretty close here. So Vos will farm it up on the side. Funnick, he is about 800 gold away from finishing out his refresher. He's already at the ready where he has the refresher on hand, the recipe rather on hand, so he can go to the Rave secret shop just to get it. We'll see. Vos has that Aegis. They're going to wait for this creep wave, and this will be the go. Oh, and a Scotty grab too.
Vos' farm is crazy. He's got 18k net worth at the moment.
Trade of stuns. He walks away, still Aegis on hand. There's the scream, big damage onto him. They manage drain him, but they're instantly going to throw out the extra heals from both Funnick and that urn. Now he has a Scotty on hand. They'll probably fight even when the Aegis goes down. Oh, there's going to be the sheep. Dendy. Havos moves in forward. Tries to get Ninja Boogie, has to pull back. There's going to be the stun, locks him there. They don't want to commit a whole lot yet. Oh, they're probably keeping an eye on the clock and on his inventory so damn fast. Chrissy jumps in. Will commit to Chrono for this one to try to take down Havos. Oh, it expires! If they're able to take him out, he'll be done for good, but here comes the Chaotic Offering and the stolen Chrono. Navi are still gonna slaughter. They take out 1, 2, 3. Buyback has to come out. Jo narrowly slips away, and now they take down the tier 3. Finger flies forward. They're able to finish off Havos, so he's down. Does have the buyback, but Ninja Boogie will not be able to escape with his wife, or will he? Nope, there's the fissure. Goblak gets that one, and Navi go right back in. Desperate now, Rior pulls out the cogs to try to stop these big pesky golems from being able to break into the base, but it looks like the damage might be done here. Chrissy's going to be out 30 seconds, no buyback. Ninja Boogie even longer. Looks like Navi got the mid lane Brax.
Do you actually need to ban Vanscore's Rubik? I think if I was a team watching this, I think you have to seriously consider it with the plays that he's been stringing together so far this tournament.
Oh, big scream on the 3, set up by Rior, locking him in place. Does annihilate Goblak, and they're looking for Vanscore here, and they get that as well. So hey, Rave, they push back out, and they take a couple of names on the way. Not too shabby, though the damage has been done, but yeah, absolutely. Vance, of course, Rubik. I've seen so many great Rubiks this whole tournament. It's been absolutely wonderful. Just such a crowd-pleasing hero. Being able to pull up big plays like that. I mean, everybody wins.
It's just, I think it's Rubik and Puck, the two heroes where every time I think, oh, you know, maybe you could justify buffing Rubik or Puck just a little bit, and then you watch somebody who really knows what they're doing on one of those two heroes, and you're like, okay, no way. There's absolutely no chance that either of those two heroes should be, you know, should possibly be buffed, and it's definitely been that tournament for Rubik with the kind of play that we've seen. But so Na'Vi lose a few, but they still managed to get that full lane of racks, so things looking really good for them there. Havost just getting bigger and bigger all the time. JO's got a lot of farm, but actually almost 5k net worth after that last little skirmish, but just a BKB, so damage potential not all that much better, but at least now he can get into the fights. One thing I want to bring up is that I don't want to call out Go Black too badly, but I think his total damage with Echo Slam this game has probably been like 200 or 300. I think we've had 4 slams and only one of them on an actual hero, so we'll see if he can step that up, because that's a lot of damage that, you know, Na'Vi have, especially with the maxed out Fatal Bonds. And that could just completely wipe a team fight.
I'm not quite there with able to get it in. We have seen a good share of Fishers for the setup and for the defense, though, and I'm sure he's probably calling the shots, not just in the draft but in the game. But yeah, I have to agree. Probably could really contribute a little bit more on the damage front, but for now he'll wait in those back lines. And with that, Na'Vi move on in. At least trying to clear out the remaining bits of towers here. We got this nice full tier 2 up for grabs, but Ninja Boogie here in position. On the left-hand side, possible flank. You see Goblack's also going to plant down the ward from the high ground. We'll see if they possibly look for an engagement setup here. Clockwork scouts out with the rocket, maybe looking for the potential hook shot here. But he hasn't found the window quite yet. Funnick, he's just above Ninja Boogie, waiting his own. He has double Chaotic Offering ready to go. This could be one hell of a breakout if Ninja Boogie or Clockwork decide to pull the trigger.
Radiant's top tower is
There they go. Havost brings out the right click, gets the tier 2, walks away. They don't proceed. And it looks like Raver just got to pull back. A lot of tension and a lot of build-up. Nothing happens.
No payoff.
Figures.
But Na'Vi, no real reason to do too much more there. Rave kind of, I mean, Rave showed a couple of heroes, and also popping the glyph made it somewhat obvious that they were trying to take a fight right there. So Na'Vi just gonna take another breather, back off, grab some more farm. Havost can, I don't even know what he's necessarily gonna grab. If he wants to just be completely immortal, I guess he can just go for Satanic here.
Yeah.
But, even Butterfly would be really solid, though. We do have Kusi with a javelin already picked up, so he's looking towards that MKB already.
Just to be safe, so I agree with you. I think Satanic might be the way, or the way he should look into here. Right now he's on Roche scouting duty. He wants it. Get up here. I know you might just come back to life, but I'm ready to beat your ass and take that Aegis and leave, you know? It's a hard life for a Roche. I talk about it all the time, but just for how many Roches I've seen through these past couple of days, it's just so funny. The life and times of a Roche is probably harder than anyone else in the game, but they continue to scout it out, the benefit of having that Clockwork. Do you think Rave could actually put up a good fight at the Roche pit to contest?
They have to find Funnick. If they don't jump Funnick, then I think they just get obliterated by 2 rounds of rocks falling from the sky.
Yeah, he's waiting so far back. The nice thing for a Warlock is the range, as you can see, on this Chaotic Offering is so big. It's almost in the pit, and he's nowhere near it, so he can afford to be way back. Just take a few steps in, and, well, double Rock City. And for Rave, it could be trouble. So it looks like for now they pull all the way back, and they continue to just try to thwart off these creeps as they advance on forward. And unfortunately for them, Roche has been spawned. And hey, Roche, how you doing? I'm Havost. Let me shake your hand, aka let me put these freaking axes in your face. Give me that Aegis, damn it.
Yeah, so it's going to be Aegis and Cheese going to Na'Vi. This is actually such a good OD game. It seemed like it took Na'Vi a little while to figure out if Rave could shuffle their lanes or do anything to deal with it, but you've got OD with a ton of damage, doesn't normally build too much attack speed, who's benefiting in full from the Troll ultimate. He's forced Rave into buying some BKBs that, as we talked about, are all right, but they don't necessarily love to buy. And yeah, this is the first OD game I've cast so far that I've actually thought, okay, yeah, this was the pick, and props to Go Black for that one.
Havos goes for the heart, actually just selling off the Morbid Mask. Going at that route. Oh, swap back. There's the blast. Dendy could be in trouble. There's the finger. They get Dendy, and they get a hold of Funnick in the back, and they take him down. Huge fight for Rave to lead things in. Another stolen chrono does lock Jo and Ninja Boogie, but it's not going to save his own life. That is best case scenario for Rave on a defense, and now they're on the hunt, looking to get what they can that's left. It's Goblak and Havos. Goblak already goes for the TP here, but the Yules will catch him out. It's going to be a 4-man drop from Rave, and what was a beautiful setup. Leading that in was a nice swap to the Vengeful Spirit.
Dendy really needed to not be there at all. He's OD, his tower damage sucks. You've got Havos with the Heart and Aegis, just let him do all of the sieging, and then things just completely fall apart. Dendy gets jumped, Funnick tries to come in to save him. He gets jumped because Rave have tons of initiation. Na'Vi can still pick themselves up and go back and push with the Aegis, fortunately, but I think that was just bad positioning on Dendy's part. And Rave see their opportunity, and everybody is completely on the same page and all jump in at the same time and make the plays happen. So very well done by them, taking full advantage there.
But that's just step one. I mean,
yeah.
And as you pointed out, yeah, Aegis is still in hand, mind you. Funnick didn't even get to use either ultimate, so he's still got double Chaotic Offering. And of course, Dendy didn't get to use his cheese or his Sanity's Eclipse, so Na'Vi will just go back once more and give it another go. This time, I bet you I won't get caught with this swap. I won't get caught out, blasted, fingered, and I bet you this time Funnick isn't going to waltz off this way. So Rave have kind of probably considered a new game plan. The first time worked. The second time, though, we'll see. Oh, force in. They get the stun. Connect up Rior. Bounce back Havost. Gets knocked on the side, but just temporary. MKB now going to be complete from Chrissy, so he's going all in for this one and will not have the buyback. So, Earthspike not going to connect on Havos. Magic Missile will. 2 more minutes on this Aegis. Na'Vi have plenty of time. Dendy now a little further away. Doesn't want to get swapped back, at least wants to be on the opposite side of wherever the hell this Vengeful Spirit is. And Funnick as well, way back and behind. Even have Vanscore up and above. So spread right now is Na'Vi.
It's definitely a case of fool me once.
Yeah.
Shame me.
Well, this time, no, it's not going to happen. Or is it? There's a long jump. They still find Funnick. He gets the Chaotic Offering off, gets caught in the Chrono. Chrissy trying to quickly take him down, gets him down. Only going to be 1 Chaotic Offering for you, but they also take down both supports. Sanity's Eclipse going to be dropped, and the Golems will eat a reasonable amount, but here they go, moving on in. Now the Rax is exposed, and the Raxes will be taken down. Havos, mind you, still has that Aegis. It looks like Na'Vi are able to get the Rax in the end here. Rave, very sneaky attempt. Almost managed to get a hold of Funnick. But it looks like this time it's not going to be as easy. So now 2 down, 2 sets of Rax down. They head towards the final one. This is probably the last hurrah here for Rave.
They just can't deal with Havos. They got a 4k hit points Troll Warlord slapping their buildings, and they have absolutely no answer, especially with the Chronosphere on cooldown. So as much as it was good to jump Funnick, it was definitely damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah.
Havos is going to lay waste to their base.
Please don't do this. Cog away. Oh, that's
please
just
leave.
Yeah, please. What am I gonna do with you? Jo, just scream at him or something. Mega Creeps come out. Sad day for your Rave fans. Jump in from Chrissy. Whoa! Able to take down Vanscore very nicely. There's the screen. Host in a bit of trouble here, running away. Still has Aegis, maybe a couple more seconds. Long swap gets Dendy. Dendy's though able to force on out and away. Oh, Rior does not connect with the hook shot. Oh, here's an echo from Goblak. Connects on Rior. Not the biggest damage still, but hey, it's an echo and it hits. And now he goes toe-to-toe with Rior in the cogs. Meanwhile, back and behind, a zap to the face of Dendy. Ninja Boogie gets that one. Upheaval, and Rior slowly gets chopped on down from Havos. Immediate buyback now for Chrissy. Havos runs back in. No Aegis, mind you. Ninja Boogie chases after him. Here comes Chrissy back from the dead once more, and Rior. They bump back Havos. And, well, he instantly takes down Chrissy. There's going to be the zap, and that's enough. It's a bloodbath at the end, but still, Na'Vi continue to bring in the wins as they take down Rave.
I just think that was a really nice draft from Goblak, honestly. He had it set up in such a way that I think almost no matter what laning configuration Rave went for, they were going to have a hard time. I guess they could have put Void mid. They could have put Clockwork. I think almost no matter what they do, they're in trouble.